Going to, here we are. First of all, thank you so much for making the time. I know you travel all over the place, and I'm so glad you made the time, so thank you for that.
Thank you, JG. Great to be here and get to meet up with you to have a chat about all things real estate.
Yeah, it's going to be super fun, super fun. So, Deanna, you and I have had several encounters. We know each other a little bit. We've been to meetings together. We've ran into each other when I was at speaking events and so on and so forth. But for those listening, your resume is very long, very deep. Tell us a bit about yourself so everyone listening get a bit of a sense of who you are.
Great. Okay. So we started investing in real estate almost accidentally. About 15 years ago, as many of us do, got into a situation where we were able to keep a house while we moved into another. And sort of, have always enjoyed real estate. It's become a passion. And while keeping our day jobs, so my husband and I invest together and both have busy day jobs, as you know.
Yep.
I work mostly from airplanes, it seems, in cities around the world. And what a great job to have. I mean, we are truly blessed in that we're getting to live our why and live our beliefs through this journey. And so have learned a lot of great lessons along the way, some of them successful ventures and some that, we learned things that we could improve. So we invest in currently 3 provinces, 3 states, both hands-on, units, some passive stuff, joint ventures, quite a variety within our portfolio.
That's great. That's great. And how long have you been? Now, you're obviously a veteran real estate investor. You're a REIN member, and you're also a legacy real estate investment advisor as well. So you stay busy.
Yes, I was very fortunate to get involved with the Legacy Real Estate Investment Advisor program sort of early within it. And what a great bunch of people, great learning, really great to solidify and put some discipline around the things that we've learned and get to work with a bunch of great professionals. And we just had a situation last week with a property where we're getting to test our insurance for the first time.
I really like how you position that. We get to test our insurance just to have the experience of going through it.
Yes. Well, we have done everything from, we went and stood on the county hall steps at an auction for a property once down in the States. So we really do believe in testing all of these options. So we had a sprinkler head, frozen pipe, all of that, 56 units evacuated last week. And let me tell you, surrounding yourself with a great team of professionals, other members, we have talked to other members within the network. There's just so much value in that, so that's been great. So yeah, the theme this week is make sure that you have the right people on your team, because you may think you don't need them, but then one day you get a phone call that you do.
Absolutely. Well, that's great. Listen, we have a conference coming up, the Strategies, Opportunities, and Solutions Conference happening in Calgary, your backyard, in fact, March 1st, 2nd, 3rd. I'm super pumped, super excited to be there. It is going to be an event that is unlike any other event we've done at REIN. So I'm really excited about that. But so let's talk about Alberta. Let's talk about how you're feeling about Alberta. You've been in this market a long time. You've been doing this a while. You have quite a bit of experience in all kinds of different provinces and states. How do you feel about Alberta specifically?
I think, Alberta, we've got some challenges going on overall with our economy. And it's no secret that, our neighbors are hurting. People are, out of work. And so we've got a lot of eyes on this spring election. And regardless of what happens, whether we get a change of government or not, it's all about the economy and jobs right now. What we're seeing in the market, markets are cyclical, and I have never believed in calling a phase of the market either good or bad. It's a market, and just as, we learn in all these great resources that we've gotten from REIN.
Jennifer Hunt would be so proud of you right now, holding up one of her diagrams. I mean,
my girl Jennifer knows what she speaks of, and Don R. Campbell. When we look at these sort of things here in Alberta, we've been in this slump for quite a while now. what's good about that is that prices are coming down. It's the time to look at the tactics that you're using, not the time to do a flip, for example, but certainly, we've got single family houses are falling by about 5.5% at any given time. I actually just read today, over the past couple of months, condos here in Calgary, which we may have an oversupply, overbuild situation, they could be down as low as 16% on the purchase price. That's fantastic, right? It's the early 2019 sale of the season. So again, as Jennifer would say, use that property goldmine scorecard, get out there, evaluate those. When you're looking at them in this situation, you've got some lower rents, some lower prices. Look at those numbers carefully. Be cautious, be a strategic investor. And there are deals to be had out there.
There's a couple things you mentioned there which I think are fascinating. And again, I've been interviewing these veteran real estate investors for some time, and every time I pick up these amazing nuggets, and there's a couple. So, and for you, it's just like everyday business. So you don't even realize the gold coming out of you, Deanna. But one of the things you said is a cycle is just a cycle. Like, it is what it is. It's not good. It's not bad. You just modify and adapt your strategy based on the cycle. So you immediately are telling me you don't get emotionally involved with the cycle. It just is what it is.
It is what it is. It's part of the game. Wouldn't it be boring if there was no cycle and it was flat and we had to do the same stuff every day?
Yep. Yeah. And the other thing, I totally agree. The other thing you mentioned, which I think is fascinating, is you talk about how condo prices might be down up to 16%. And I love that again is just, it just is what it is. You can view that as, oh no, it's down 16%, or you can view that as, wow, what a great buying opportunity this is. Let's go shopping.
Absolutely. Let's talk shopping, right? One of my favorite topics. And if you know your markets, you might have a market where you've got a chance to refi because you've got some value. With our diversification, we do that, but look into joint ventures. A lot of people in Calgary right now have money that they're looking to invest, and they're maybe not investing it in oil and gas.
Well, that is something that I got to say I'm seeing much more of this year, more like since the what I call the mortgage fiasco, since all the mortgage stuff happened. I find there's a lot more people who just are tentative. They have the cash, but they can't get into the market. As a result, they are looking for joint venture partners, like smart people like you and me and other REIN members and other legacy real estate investment advisors to deploy that capital for them.
Absolutely. And I would encourage members to share your knowledge, share these REIN resources. You saw me hold up those resources. Give them copies of some of these webcasts. Let them know about a Facebook Live session. They will come to you. It amazes me. We literally have had 3 people approach us in the past week regarding RTOs, for example. And we have done RTOs, not a large part of our portfolio. We were able, through the REIN network, to get engaged with a couple of people here in Alberta who are absolutely fantastic. Andrea Workington helped us with our first one. We just attended a session with Barry McGuire to talk more about agreements for sale. But isn't that interesting that I didn't even go looking for RTO possibilities last week, and 3 of them came knocking on my door.
Now, for those fine folks listening to this, RTO stands for rent-to-own agreements. And if you're wondering what that is, we won't be able to get into it, Deanna, this time, but we will be covering these kinds of advanced strategy at the Strategies, Opportunities, and Solutions Real Estate Conference. This is not something, we typically don't cover really advanced stuff, but because of the opportunities that are in Alberta, we are covering some really advanced stuff. We're covering assignments, we're covering RTOs, we're covering some of these income tactics that are typically reserved for the more advanced investors. We're going to be covering them March 1st through 3rd, and I'm really pumped about that. That's another thing that's going to make this conference really stand out, really be different.
I love that because, starting out with Brett Wilson talking about what's going on here in Calgary, right? This great member of our community, great Western Canadian, can talk all things Alberta and Saskatchewan. right through. And I will tell you, when we first started with these events, sometimes I didn't really pay attention on the RTO, those more advanced strategies. I'm admitting it here on Facebook Live.
It's captured now. Now everybody knows.
They say it's once it's online, it's forever, right? But it's true. And honestly, I don't know that we ever would have done that had we not had the resources through the RAIN network, to do so and have people walk us through it. I'll tell you, the one that I had was fairly complicated. And I got to sit down with a fellow investor, actually a JV partner of mine that we've done an RTO on. And within 15 minutes, we had brainstormed, used the resources, the proven strategies to calculate these numbers that we have learned by investing time and money into these weekend sessions. And I'm so thankful that we have, because it's amazing what you do learn.
Well, and you talked about sharing the resources, Deanna, and that's why we really encourage RAIN members. We encourage the entire community to bring guests, bring friends, bring family, bring cousins, bring aunts, bring uncles. If you want a JV partner, there's no better place to convince someone to get into real estate than by bringing them to the March 1st through 3rd Strategies, Opportunities, and Solutions. You won't have to do any JV selling. Let us do it for you. Just bring them there.
Education. If you have to sell your JV partners, you're not doing it right.
That's
bring
right.
them there, let them see it. They will be amazed. There are a ton of people in Calgary who have sold recreational properties, right? In British Columbia or down in the desert. The US dollar is so high. They've sold those homes in Phoenix or Palm Springs. They're looking for a place to make that money work for them. And our members have the knowledge to help them do that. So
100%.
Bring them to the weekend. They can see exactly how this will work. They'll be smart enough to be a good partner to you as well.
Now, one of the topics that you and I have talked about before is how, yes, right now an opportunity is to go shopping for sure. Another opportunity is to keep your clients, other people call them tenants, we like to call them clients. As a rental housing provider, you have clients, and you want to keep them happy. You don't want them to go anywhere. Now, it sounds like right now, Deanna, that's your some rental housing providers can be in a bit of a, I don't want to say precarious position, but if they're careless about it, they might lose some really good clients that they really don't want to lose. So what's happening there? Talk to me about that.
Absolutely. I just had an applicant yesterday here in Alberta who told me she's been a long-term tenant in her current property 3 years.
Yep.
She is ready to walk away from that relationship simply because her landlord is not taking care of her. She told me that, she put some of her own money into the property, yet she had a problem with plumbing, and he didn't get someone out there for almost a week, which, first of all, that's your investment. Your clients, your tenants, the families that you put into your buildings are a partner helping to look after your investment. So first of all, I thought that was a big mistake on that gentleman's part. But you really have to think about these people who are in our properties who have maybe been there for 3 or 4 years. They're paying a higher rent level. Rents were a little higher back, 3, 4, 5.
So in a sense, they're paying above market a little bit.
They're a premium. That's right. You want to keep them. I have a property right here in Calgary, a few blocks from my house, in fact, that if those people left me today, I know I'm renting that property for $200 a month less.
Hey, that's $2,400 a year.
Even if I get somebody in right away, add another month of vacancy on top of that. So take care of those people. We sent, our holiday gifts, that sort of thing. But we also, with this one, we just checked in with them and said, how is everything with the property? You can drop off a Home Depot card, something like that. We offered them carpet cleaning. They've been in there for 3, 4 years now. We know that when they move out, that carpet probably has to be redone. So we'd like to keep it and them happy. For $100, $150, I give the carpet cleaning company their number. Off they go. The clients are happy. They've got a young child in there. I want to keep that young child in safe, clean housing right across the street from the school
Yep.
for many, many years at the rent rate that they're paying, right? So it's part of who we want to be as strategic investors, I think.
Yeah, and something, I love your idea. So what I heard is Home Depot card. You could do carpet cleaning was another idea. I heard another thing that I've heard before is, and I've done it myself, is to just bring like every spring, I bring my tenants, when I do an inspection, I bring all of my clients a plant, either a plant or a bouquet of flowers or an outdoor patio thing. I bring them something to spruce up, and they take pride in our properties. They take pride in their home. And this costs us $15, $20, $30 a place. It's inconsequential. Now, I got to tell you though, as an investor, sometimes when you got to buy, I mean, just like Deanna, when you got to buy 30, 40, 50 of these, you know, you all of a sudden you bought $2,000 worth of flowers and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this was maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But this is inconsequential in relation to this extra $200 a month that you could be foregoing, right? It's
absolutely.
Investors forget this very quickly. Another thing I've done, Deanna, and I think you probably have done it too, and I know a lot of people have done it, is once a year I like to have a meeting with all of our clients, like one at a time. We go through and we just ask them, what kind of improvements or adjustments would you like us to make to your home? And sometimes they say, can you install a grab bar here, and can you do this, and can you clean that, and can you just little stuff. And we just schedule our maintenance people to go in and make these cleanups and these fixes. And this, again, costs maybe $15, $20, $30, $40 per unit, but it's inconsequential in the big picture.
It is. You know, we were touched. We had people who had to move out of a property through no fault of their own. There were some circumstances around this. And the day they had moved in, they called us and they thanked us for the gifts that we had left there. They said no one had ever done that. When they moved out, he gave us a piece of his own artwork.
Wow.
That he had made, right? I mean, that is just an incredible thing to do. And we further set the stage by telling them, you know, once the baby's born, you've rebuilt your savings, you're both back to work. If you're interested in looking for a new home, call us.
Yep.
Right. So it's being a good, responsible citizen, but it's looking after your business, and no one will look after it the way you do. Like you say, that little touch, giving someone a plant, you know, and for a lot of people who are renting, you know, I remember years ago being thrilled when we moved in somewhere that had Christmas lights already up. Yeah. Because honestly, we couldn't afford to buy Christmas lights.
That's
you know,
right.
It was just in December, there were so many expenses. So you think about those things, you know, $50 at Home Depot or somewhere. It's the gift that keeps on giving as well, because that money goes back into your property.
Another example, and we can talk about examples all day. And by the way, I'm going to be speaking on a segment at the conference on this very topic. So I'm really pumped about this. As you can see, I get passionate about it. Another idea I've heard, I haven't done it myself, but I think it's brilliant, is I had a colleague of mine. What she would do is she would take a couple $100 off the rent in December just to be able to contribute and help with the Christmas gifts and the holiday gifts. And I just thought, wow, I mean, this is again, in retrospect, I mean, of what it costs to replace a client, what it costs in losing that little rent premium. These costs really add up. So just knocking $200 off might seem like a lot, but in the long run, it's actually nothing.
And how easy to administer that.
Way easier than going to buy flowers.
Way easier than running around with a bunch of bouquets of flowers.
Totally.
But depending on what your strategy is, it's an easy thing to do.
You got it. So, you know, I'm really glad we got it. I didn't know where this would take us, but I'm really glad that we got into the meat, the nuts and bolts, the meat and potatoes of this conversation, because that's really, and I know I keep talking about this conference, but that's what this is about, Deanna. I know you're going to be there. I'll be there. I'll be speaking. I think I'm speaking twice, which I'm pretty pumped about. I'm going to be speaking about these kinds of how to make sure you take really good care of your clients from a landlording perspective. And also I'm going to be speaking about marketing, how to set yourself apart so that if you because as the market gets more competitive, you oftentimes have to start to compete for clients, right? The client starts to have a choice. At the beginning, it's easy. Sometimes if the market's really hot, it's easy because the clients don't have a choice of apartment. It's yours or none. So you are the choice.
Yes.
But when you start competing, well, then you have to stand out. Then you have to be different. And a lot of rental housing providers, i.e. landlords, forget this. And when the market takes a little bit of a correction, as it has in Alberta, all of a sudden they forget that they have to compete. And there's some adjustments you can make to really set yourself up and be in a great position to make sure you get the best clients possible. So I'm pumped about it. Deanna, March 1st, 2nd, 3rd, I imagine you're going to be there, yes?
I will be there. I will be listening raptly to the marketing. I mean, how great to have access to literally a marketing expert in JG. Landlords have to be many things, right? We have to be good at many things. So how fantastic to get to listen to someone who is absolutely great at marketing. I will be listening for some tips there.
I appreciate that, Deanna. I look forward to seeing you there, folks. If you want to know more about March 1st, 2nd, 3rd, the Strategies, Opportunities, and Solutions Real Estate Conference, click on the link. I put it in the description, I believe, below. Click on the link and get yourself registered. And like Deanna said, bring a guest, bring a friend, bring a family, bring a cousin, bring an aunt, bring an uncle, bring them all, because it's going to be a great time.
Yes, it will. I look forward to seeing you all there and some great connections over the weekend.
Excellent. Deanna, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. You have been a star. Thank you.
Thanks, JG. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. We'll see you in Calgary. Go Flames.